Music, for me, it's not just performing. It heals me. Even when I'm sick, at times I take a walk and just sing loud, and I feel better. I grew up with different people that managed me. Even today, I never got a manager. I just found looters. You know, they were just amazing looters. They would come to you, and they've got beautiful faces, some of them. They've got wonderful voices, but the money goes. You don't see a cent of it. You'll find a piece of it if you are lucky. I think what kept me going was the wanting to learn from the wrongs, you know. Today I handle my own business. Nobody else will touch anything else. Next year I'll be 50 years in the music industry. And it's through all those pains, you know, of those people who come and kill musicians. I think I would say to young musicians, wake up, do things, go and learn how to deal with your finances. Go and learn the business yourself, you know, and do things for yourself. If you are not capable of dealing with that, learn to know and find out, dig deep, who is your manager? What does he know or she knows? You know, and what's her reputation or his reputation in the industry? Otherwise, you're going to find lots of fly-by-nights. They're all over the place, and they will always be there. So keep on learning and find out, do your researches, because your talent is a multi-billion gift from God that you must protect. I remember the first time I heard my voice on radio. I was walking the streets of Lesotho, and I jumped with joy when I heard my voice on radio. It was playing at a shop outside. And I jumped into a small little dish of water. And from there, I was sneaking out of the public people to go and look for a cardboard to put in my shoe, because my shoes were torn. There was nothing underneath. But I was excited hearing my voice on the radio. If I had money then, I would have paid just to hear myself on radio or to be on stage. You know, and that's the kind of love I have for music. Bank account, what is that? You know, you wouldn't even think of a bank account. Yesterday I was talking to Tresor. He was telling me about his plans and everything else, the business. I said, wow, son, you're blessed. You're blessed. Go and teach other young people. You know what I mean? Because I mean, during the apartheid days, man, it was rough. I mean, I personally was banned in South Africa. You know what I mean? We came here with a band called Uhuru, and we were banned in South Africa for singing Africa Shall Unite. You know, and it was difficult, I mean, let alone money. Because even promoters, they would go, you pack up the hall, and then they give you 20 rand and say, ah, well done, Fanaget. You know, and that's how it was. I mean, I think I saw a bank account some 20 years ago. The 30 years, it was just hand to mouth, you know. I'm only beginning to enjoy buying different kinds of pairs of shoes today.
I've been very blessed to be in the presence of Brayu, Masekela, and other really African legends. And it's always amazing to see how far they took it. And I feel like we, the new generation, myself included, we have that dare to take it to the new level, next level. We have much better platforms, also just tools. And that's where I'm taking it. So for me, it's like global domination. For me, as an artist, there are so many ways I think we can be able to impact the culture globally. I'm an artist, very much interested in many things, including finances, investments, property, and I'm already active in those areas. So I get my money primarily from music, from writing songs, from publishing, and I've managed to put a good team of people around me, be consultants and accountants that help me and advise me on where to put the money right. because I'm very passionate about legacy and building lifelong wealth?
Well, maybe some of these things we are only knowing about them today because we're busy trying to put in 20,000 rand in your account from every show, putting in 10 rand, 20 rand, 30 rand so that we can grow, you know. And the policies as well, most of them you have to pay monthly. But we only get five months a year. You know, the other months, you know, you forfeit your insurance because you jump the other months, you don't pay for them. You know, because we live from hand to mouth, you know. And right now, the best thing that I did, you know, earlier was to invest into things that might help my children and the young coming generations to grow. Like I'm building up a studio in Lesotho in the mountains, you know. I already have a few horses right now, goats, you know, and you can come to my place and ride a horse. And I think, you know, because of the environment, you know, it becomes difficult for some of the people. I mean, we all come from different environments. I mean, if you see my country in Lesotho, you know what I mean? That environment needs more help in this industry more than any other place. Because there is so much talent in Lesotho, but we don't have no infrastructure, we don't have no facilities, we don't have nothing. I mean, literally nothing, not even a nightclub. It's sad, but we don't even have a nightclub in Lesotho. So all these other things, somebody else like me has to start something for the other young musicians to take it from me and start building. I mean, even inviting some of the young people in Lesotho, come, let's partner and build up a studio. I've already spoken to John here to bring the same kind of thing in Lesotho. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, you know, look, some people have better facilities. You know what I mean? We need to help each other. We got to go global. We got to go Africa. You know what I mean? The talent in Lesotho, you know, it will spring into Swaziland, Botswana, you know, or DRC, all over the country, I mean the continent. You know, we need to help each other. My cry right now is we need to help each other, hold each other's hands, young and old, and kill the scourge of complaints, toy-toying all this time, musicians dying poor, and all those other things. They're simple things. We must stop complaining and start holding each other's hands and build ourselves. Nobody else is going to do it for us. Nobody. We need to do it ourselves.
Amen. Amen.
The pressure in our industry is overwhelming. Young musicians come, he gets his first check. The first thing he thinks of is this pressure he's in. You know what I mean? Of people expecting that you are now a superstar. So you are expected to dress like this. You know what I mean? We are going to a hotel. You are expected to go to a better hotel. You know, instead of a hotel that you could comfortably sleep in. You know, you normally drink Savannah. You want to drink Johnny Walker Blue. You know, all of a sudden, just that pressure alone diverts you from focusing. Because we don't even have elders that have, you know, we need workshops. You know what I mean? Help these other young artists. We throw the blame to them. You know, we blame drugs. We blame alcohol. Why don't we blame the upbringing? Why don't we blame the upbringing? Teach these children that when you are under pressure, my child, slow down. Come, let's rebuild again. I've been one of the biggest victims. There's nothing I have never done. It took me a long time to get out of it. Yes, today I still have my little drink, but I changed from whiskey to gin. But it's those little changes that slows you down, you know? Because you end up saying, I'm not going to join that group of whiskey drinkers because they're too expensive, man. You know, and they expect you to buy a most expensive bottle, and when they finish your bottle, they go and drink store back there. You know, and you stay with the bills, you stay with everything else. You are under this pressure because the people are expecting you. You are a superstar. They're expecting you to be having all these monies in the world. Instead of going to rehabs, let these record companies be educational. Let these other institutions be educational. I will sign you only if you can go by these rules. No drugs, no alcohol. You know what I mean? I will book you on this show, provided I don't see no one drunk on my stage. You know what I mean? We need to put these rules and be more strict. You know what I mean? So we can grow. We can't be sitting back and point the finger, oh, look at him, he's drunk. Look at him, he's smoking dope. Look at, you know, wait a minute. Let us do this. I said this again. Let's do it ourselves. Let's draw a plan of how we can succumb all these problems that we are facing. They are not going to stop unless we do something about it.
I've made quite a lot of financial mistakes. I mean, I was very fortunate. I made a couple millions with my first album because I had great songs overseas, and I lost most of it because I made some bad financial decisions. And I'm a firm believer that you need to learn from your lessons and do better next time. And what I'm working for now is about generational wealth, not just for myself, for my family and the people that I believe in, and the youth, African youth in general. And for me, I think working about, talking about money and building finances is not just about myself, but rather impacting the people around me. So I'm trying to make sure I don't ever test poverty again, but also the people around me also don't start to get out of it. I think for me, I was having a conversation this morning. I'm working on a brand endorsement, quite a big one. And first of all, I love to be involved in every area of my career, the finances, because I'm the business. You get what I mean? So you have to understand you are the business, so you have to take yourself seriously. So for me, I see value in relationships more than anything. So if you're supposed to pay me, let's say 100 Rand or 100,000 Rand, I'll rather take 60,000 Rand, and the 40 I'm going to invest in whatever that we're trying to do. So, and for me, longevity and longer relationships actually earn you more benefits, more results. It's not about right now, I gotta eat right now, I gotta have right now, and it's all about building for a long time. So you're always gonna have a vision financially and also just business-wise that is really projects for years to come, and that for me, that's how I survive. I mean, you make good money now and then work for a few months, sometimes 3, 4, 5 months, but I'm always chilled because I know that I've always planned my finances right. First, I look at the journey and how far my journey has taken me to where I am, and I'm always humbled by it myself because I look at life and I see there are no limits when you imagine and when you have the willingness to go wherever you. I come from a very small town called Goma in Congo. You must go Google it. It's a beautiful place, but also that I've seen some of the most craziest atrocities, be it wars and child soldiers. And like I grew up around the Rwandan genocide. I was about 8 years old. So we saw some of the most horrible atrocities that ever committed to humankind. And I grew up around that environment. When I was about 17, I lost both my parents. And I finished high school, so I decided that, look, this city is too small for me, and I gotta look for a better place to try to express my talent and my creativity. And also, I feel like there need to be somebody where I come from because it's so small to kind of shift the narrative of youth that you can do anything, whatever that you put in your head and your imagination. So I left my hometown by bus, went to Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, and from there I caught the horrible journey because I got robbed, I lost my passport. So I started traveling like literally illegally from Malawi, squatting whether in buses and walking between parks, so a lot of national parks in Malawi and Mozambique. Swimming in rivers at night, not to be caught. Some of them had crocodiles in it, and I end up in South Africa about 3 months later. It's normally 4 hours flight, so it took about 3 months. I was very young. I got here at the back. I went through a border post called Manguzi. which is Mozambique side. At the back of a little, it's called Bantam Baki, small Baki, and about 15 of us squashed in the back. I got dropped at a place called the Warwick Junction in Durban. I'm sure you guys know it. I remember being so lost and looking like very, very, very dirty because I haven't showered like in weeks, and my clothes were torn from the running and rivers and all the great stuff was happening. And that's how I got to South Africa, and from there I knew what I wanted to do, and I kept focused from the time I landed my foot in Durban, and worked as a car guard, as a security guard, as a gardener. That was very horrible gardener. I used to mow the cable all the time. It's very horrible, on the real though. But I really got to build great relationships, and it's always been a dream of mine to be an artist and also build a business and venture to other things, and I'm really grateful to be here. And man, I think we're just getting started.
Sure.
Don't go looking for a job. Create a job.
Ooh.
Whether you start selling peanuts, just you must know what to sell and where. You know what I mean? Go to school, you know bagata magwinya le acha. Tsamao yezgele da we make eating rekse magwinya le acha. Create your own business. That is the best way we can do it. I mean, right now, look, South Africa is looking, I mean, people are crying, unemployment. You know what I mean? It's about time we stop looking for jobs and create our own jobs. We can, you know? Maybe if you bought a capital, okay, you bought $1,000, kids will reka stock. You know what I mean? If you are serious, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we must get out of this complaining business.
Yeah.
We complain too much. You know, let's do things ourselves, please.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Africa belongs to us all. You know, it's not a South Africa problem, it's not a Lesotho problem, it's not a Botswana problem, it's an African problem that we need to work hard on it.
True.
Look for create your own job, my brother. I wish I had the medicine, the medication for that. But for me, I think it starts with the love. It starts with the love of what you're doing, the commitment of what you're doing, you know, and the passion of what you are doing. You have to want it to get it, you know. Otherwise, there is no special medicine, you know, no special solution of longevity. You know what I mean? You do it, you create it yourself, you know. A lot of people read books, but they don't learn nothing. You know, start learning from yourself. You are a special book the world is waiting to read.
Oh, come on. We all on personal journeys, man, and you have to appreciate and be in presence of your journey. You really have to appreciate it. Be it the rough patches, be it the really super high or super, super lows, you really have to embrace it. And I had to learn that very young. I really struggled with telling my family what I was doing when I came to South Africa, because I felt like it was like me becoming a man, and it had nothing with them for me to tell them. So I had to like go through my own process on my own. And no, I never had any idea of ending my journey, or I just, every day what really kept me going was the idea and this small grain of hope that it might be better tomorrow. And so every day I keep pushing the wall. Every day, even when I'm sick, when I'm tired, I keep doing and making steps to make sure I push the wall a little bit back. And I mean, Tate also can answer this, but I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about everyday living, what trying to chase your dreams. Man, don't have no pride about your dreams. Like, put the pride aside. I did the most craziest jobs, man. Like, I laugh about it now because like some of them are friends, but I used to like capture, like I'll see to business cards like in a massive plastic bag and just type the name, the cell phone number and email for like weeks. Drove me mad. And I did a whole bunch of jobs, be it cleaning people's houses, be it watering, which I obviously don't appreciate because you get treated badly for food, you know. Treasure your journey and do whatever that you can at that time. Like everything is a step toward your dream. Just because you're a car guard today, or you're a security guard today, or you're a waiter today, or you're cleaning people's houses today, does not mean you're going to be there for a long time. You're going to have a game plan. Everything I ever did, whether I got 1,000 Rand or 2,000 Rand, I went back to I don't know if anyone from Durban here, there is a place called Albert Park in Durban. It's pretty run down in town. They used to have this crazy internet cafe, and I spent 50 or 60% of my salary there because I always want to understand how the game works. So I read, I prepared myself, and I could only afford that because I did all those odd jobs. In essence, my career was funded by all those odd jobs that I did.
He's got an amazing story, and I can relate to that because I come from extreme pain in my journey. Some of it, it's just a long story. But what fascinates me about this young man is the will to move on. You know, he wanted this. That's why he's got it. I don't know whether it's our department as elders. But all I can say is that we need to balance yesterday and today to make every day more fruitful to us. Today, you take a computer, you take a laptop, you press a few buttons, you've got a beat. You call yourself a producer. You go out there, you dance, you find somebody else, it goes up. You call yourself a professional artist. We started with a hammer and a nail and because you are tired, then you've got the you know. And I'm just trying to say we need that balance. We need that balance. And life is about a balance. You know what I mean? There's no good without bad. There's no bad without good. You know what I mean? Learn from your yesterday. You know, your yesterday's pain is your today's joy. You know, so I believe we need to balance things up. You know, like Tresor, you know, I'm really fascinated by this young man.
Yes.
You know, he's awesome. Well done, son.
Well done, son.
Well done.
Look, man, first of all, I always tell people, man, everything starts at the source. The source is in passion for the music. When you look after the music, everything looks after itself. It's a hard thing to tell any artist, but you gotta find your sonic identity before the world can relate to you. You're gonna find yourself, like you're gonna come into how a woman grows and become this beautiful flower and how a man grows and become this incredible guy. You gotta be that musically before the world can be able to relate. And the world knows. That's when people break. You get it? So for me, it's a journey. First, you gotta put in a lot of work as an artist, because, man, I don't get excited about record labels and contracts. I really don't. You know why? Because it's only exciting when they actually result. So many artists get shelved, you get signed, exciting, you're super talented, and never be released for 6-10 years. So many that I know. So for me, man, look after the music, really. And once that step is done, start knocking on doors. I knocked on so many doors, man. I can't even begin to tell you. But what's funny, though, my English was so bad, so bad, that every time people used to cut my calls. Now, the same people now are managing directors, pretty much all the biggest record labels in South Africa, and now we see sitting on board of directors together for a big organization, be it Sampra or other things. But I used to knock on the doors then, but now I'm on the table, and all I had to do was look after the music, and everything came afterwards. You get what I mean? So for me, man, look after the music, polish it, and always be kind. You know, because of course nobody owes anybody anything, really. Yeah, man, the music, and when you're ready with it, hopefully you can send 1,000 demos. You just need one person to believe. One. So many factors, so many dots are connected, and not just one straight path. My biggest passion I write songs. I write for low artists. I've written for Zahara. I write for idols. I still write for The Voice and all competitions, because I'm passionate about publishing and copyright, right? So when I realized that nobody was opening doors for me as an artist, I started writing songs and hanging at studios. And few people, rest in peace, Robbie Malinga and Mjalefa Tebe that produced Zahara, gave me the first ever chance to write for Zahara. Man, I was nobody, man. I was nothing. I was a waiter at Pavilion in Durban, and I resigned at work for 2 weeks to go sit at the studio to see if they could sing any of my songs. Funny enough, they sang 2 songs, and I made my first money, actually my first 100K ever from that record, and I toured with her, and from there, eventually won a competition as a songwriter of Rolling Stone magazine, and won another prize of Holiday Inn, and started becoming slightly busy. So I started looking for managers, and got introduced to a few managers. And for the first time, I bought my little car to move around from the money I made from the Zahara tour. I went to see my family for the first time in 6 years, but because before that I couldn't afford it. So shout out to Zahara. And when I came back, I remember, you know African families, man, black tax, you know what I mean? So I came back, man, I was broke. I had like 3 grand in my account. And I remember I used to see this beautiful girl in Durban. I told her, man, I feel like I'm gonna go overseas and I'm gonna do great things overseas. So I'm gonna go apply for an American visa. At that time it was like 2 grand in Durban. I didn't have no bank account or with money and stuff. And I don't know how I did it, and I got like a 10-year visa, which I never used until 2 years ago. But anyway, the whole thing was like me just taking faith. Like I was making steps of faith. Man, the most underrated skill in life is intuition. You gotta feel it, man. Like when you feel something, man, listen to that voice and do with it. Like, it's crazy, because a lot of people think I'm crazy. Like, my friends always thought I was crazy. My family, like when you feel something, man, go and do it. Like, don't doubt it. Like, go and do it. Yeah. With all your heart, with all your might, all your strength, and always do it good. Never settle. Not halfway, not, okay. Do it so good, man. Like, do it so good. And if you fail the first time, do it 1,000,000 times until you get it good. You get what I mean? So, just to go back on the visa, so I got the visa, right? And I was left with like small money. And I remember being like, yo, man, I'm so broken. I'm getting sick with malaria because I just came from Congo. And I was like, well, I need to start recording an album. I don't know where the idea came from. To be honest, I don't know. I just say, I need to record an album. I have less than 2 grand though. You get what I mean? So I went to people and friends. I'm like, oh man, this is what I'm doing. There were a few studios in the neighborhood in Westville, if anybody knows, in Durban. And someone gave me a small room where I can record in. So I got a 16-year-old programmer engineer, because I've always gotten money from waitering, 15 grand there, and I paid people, and nobody ever understood my sound because it was very strange and different. So I told myself I'm gonna take the control of it and shape it how I want, and I wanna take time and learn it. So me and that kid, Tyron Woods, he literally listened to me. I played the guitars and he engineered for me, and I produced the first ever song for me called Mount Everest. That song, I remember telling him, I'm like, man, I hope people overseas can listen to this song. Well, they better do. I hope they listen to it. And I started sending that song around to managers or contacts. So that's why being in places like this is very important. You get to meet a lot of exciting people. You might send a mail, as I said, 1,000 times, but one person needs to listen to. So I sent that song out. And at that time, a manager that used to manage AKA came back to me like, yo, man, I love this song. Can we work? I'm like, sure, but I just want the collaboration. How much gonna be? Like, no, man, I want to work with you, right? That demo that was not mixed, made it on a chart in Cape Town. I don't know how, in Heart FM and KFM, that demo. Within a few months, The song was mixed, AK jumped on a remix. That song got discovered in Europe somewhere. Someone saw it on YouTube and went #1 in Italy within months. Right? And if we have to go back, it all starts with the music. Of course, you gotta network. Of course, you gotta make the right moves. But everything started on how I wanted to shape the sound and how I wanted to move. Man, from there, it sounds crazy even when I say it myself. I've released 3 albums in 3 years since I broke out as an artist. 1 best pop album for every album because I shaped the sound how I wanna say it. And most importantly, I stay in touch with my vision and my passion, which I think is very important as an artist. Not just an artist, as a businessman, with everything, man. Always stay in touch with what you want to do, your vision. Don't derail, man. A boy's got to be focused, and nothing can disturb the boy.
One thing I can promise you is that you won't see no news when I die. There'll be no news about me not having a coffin. Not because I have all the money in the world. I invested in people, and people that matter in my life. You don't just invest with money and money does not work for you. Money must work for you. So I can promise you one thing, you'll never hear news like that because even my friends, my children, my colleagues, they'll kill you if you're going to publish Tsepo Tshola dying poor. No way. It won't happen. I promise you.
Thank you, Tata.
Thank you. Man, I'm sorry, but we've been having crazy story in Tata been saying. I was very close with Brahu, and he reminded me so much of him. And the wild stories that he used to say. So it's really such an honor to be here today. To go back to your question, man, look, I just feel like as human beings, we're all going through our own emotional journeys all the time. That's why I think, you know, kindness is a key word. Kindness is the plug. Be kind. Doesn't matter with who, be respectful. You know, again, to brother, just be kind, man. Like, and you gotta engrave it in who you are. It doesn't matter you're an artist. It doesn't matter you work on the street. It doesn't matter. It really, like before I'm a musician, I want to be a great human being. I really want to be like, for me, that's what I strive for. I'd rather be a good musician and a great human being, because for me that's more important, because at the end of the day, the light fades, the fame fades, our bones become rocky and old, and, you know, like human beings, you know, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys know, like, you know, you have musicians and actors and people that are really celebrated and beautiful and famous, and over time other people come and those people also go and other people come. So for me it's like it's vanity really to think too highly of yourself than others. We are all here. I do music for a living, but it's what I'm passionate about, but my value does not depend on what I do. I really value people and the relationships and the interaction more than everything that comes with what I do.
Middleman? Hashtag middleman must go, must fall. Hey, damn, I'm getting there. Son, like Tresor said earlier, believe in yourself. It starts with you. I grew up thinking that the next person must approve of how good I am or how right I am. That's the most horrible mistake you can ever do to yourself. Believe in yourself first, you know, because they will take an advantage of you. Man, I went through, even simple cockroaches took an advantage of me, you know? From record companies, from managers and all of this. Middlemen, no way. Identify yourself with people that love you. They will take you where you want to go.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Just to add on what Tati said, man, you gotta know one thing though, man. Entrepreneurship is no child play.
Yeah.
it's a cardio, it's a heart exercise. So when you decide to go on your route and cut the middle, man, all the weight falls on you, right? So you gotta understand, as Tsepo said, it's almost, you are not employed by anybody, you're employed by yourself and also the people around you. So, you know, for me, like as I said, you're gonna identify the people that love you. So that could be a friend, could be a brother, could be a genuine person that really cares. But always keep your business in your hand. Don't be very, it's okay, I don't want to deal with finance, I don't want to deal with invoices, I don't know, like, take time in your week to go through things, take time to learn, make effort to understand what it's all business about. So it all depends on what you decide, but also the people around you are very important, like Tati said, like choose the right people around you, take time also with it. Like after I finished my first manager, man, I took like 2-3 years and I went to like tens of meetings with people, like take time. Take time.
Moreover, we are living in a manipulative world. So manipulative, my brother. Be manipulative. But in a good way. They will come, they will sneak to you nicely, keep your robes. You know? Immediately they jump, kick. You know what I'm saying? Because we are living in a world of the bad people. You know, there are bad people. That is why we pray every day to ask God to help these bad people who are always sneaking, looking for an advantage to get through to what you have. You know? I still have lots of people who are still going through that. But this time I said, I'm too old to regret anything right now. You know what I mean? You don't mess with me. Because you mess with me, I'm going to mess with you. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to brew war, but I am saying you must protect yourself. You know, protect yourself for all the people that love you dearly. Because these evil people will come with a smile. You understand? And all the geniuses that they can come. Boo, 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 tap this, tap that. You know what I'm saying? Watch them. Don't stop them if they are bad because they might kill you before you touch them. Give them time, but be on your toes at all times. And associate yourself with genuine people that will give you support. You must always have an eye somewhere, have an ear somewhere, because you are a special person.